The Dream by Senka Dodig. It was a hot and sticky summer. Laren was closing his eyes in the afternoon slumber. Falling asleep felt like sinking into blueness. He found himself on an island, surrounded by thick blueness, that of the sky and that of the sea. Carefully he looked around. He noticed a grove right in the center of the island. Slowly, as if walking over a cobweb, he approached the grove. Right in its middle, amongst the trees, there was a trunk, huge and branchless. Underneath the tree sat an exceptionally beautiful girl, but completely gray-haired like an old lady. Her hair wrapped around her body. She sat there with her legs crossed and her eyes closed, motionless as the trunk she was leaning on. Laren observed her inquisitively, curious and amazed as a scientist who had just discovered a new and rare plant. Yes, she looked like a long, slender, white plant. Suddenly, without opening her eyes, the girl spoke. "Which world do you want me to take you to?" "What?" mumbled Laren, and bounced back almost 1 meter, hitting his elbow against the tree behind him. "I don't understand. What world are you talking about? And who are you? How come your hair is so gray?" His questions kept pouring. "I am the eternal guide through the worlds. My hair is gray from waiting." Slowly and softly, as if she had all the time in the world, the girl replied. Well, truth be told, she did have all the time in the world. Her name was Eternity. "What are you waiting for?" he asked, bravely stepping forward and rubbing the elbow he had hurt falling. "For all the worlds to merge into one," she replied, and only then she opened her eyes, deep, blue, soothing eyes. "But what worlds?" Emphasizing each sound with an air of childish impatience, Laren revealed his curiosity and bemusement. "See this trunk? It leads down to the center, the source of all the worlds, an endless passage with numberless doors. Behind each door there is a different world. A world of song, the world of quarrel, the world of wonders, the world of laughter, the world of rain, the world of darkness, the world of love, the world of fear, the world of winds, the world of war, the world of clouds, the world of surprise, the world of color, the world of pain, the world of warmth, the world of cold. Well, if you can spare a year or two of your time, I can go on and on," Eternity ended, smiling at him. "All right, I understand, I think." "So which world do you want me to take you to?" Eternity asked mildly, getting up and offering him her hand. "Oh, I don't know, maybe the world of laughter," he giggled. "Well, let's go then," she replied, smiling. Her gray but still beautiful hair extended to the ground, hiding her body's contour. It seemed as if a white cloud were holding his hand. Holding his hand gently yet firmly, with her free hand Eternity knocked on the trunk 3 times. The trunk opened like a house door and then closed behind them as silently as when a butterfly folds its wings. They crossed a few stairs and found themselves in the endless passage with numberless doors. Eternity turned to the left and opened the 7th door in the row, leading to the world of laughter. Inside, in the shimmering light, adults and children laughed in miscellaneous laughs. There was chuckling, giggling, hilarious laughing, moping and moving, guffaws and sniggers. Some were only smiling, others were crying of laughter. Laren was fascinated by this world, but he couldn't say a word from laughter. "Do you wish to go on?" asked Eternity gently. Laren barely managed to nod his head, gagging in laughter. This will be interesting, he thought. They continued down the passage. A sign on one of the doors read, "The World of Rain." What kind of world could this be, I wondered, thought Laren. He looked at Eternity inquisitively, and she nodded her head and let him enter. Stepping inside, Laren found himself in the middle of a downpour and within seconds was drenched. He shook off the water like a dog and grumbled, "Well, it doesn't have to pour this hard." And what do you know, the rain shifted to a gentler rhythm of softer drops. As if he were directing a rain orchestra, Laren kept changing the power and rhythm of the rain using only his thoughts. First he changed the shower into sleet, as when it sleets in autumn, then changed it into a softer drizzle, ending it all with silky drops falling on his head. Laren grabbed the door handle, and as he was walking out, he wished for a heavy cloudburst, and slam! As he shut the door of the world of rain, he could hear the sound of thunder behind. He realized he was able to change the rhythm of the rain with only his thoughts. He probably could have done the same in the world of laughter had he only known about it. Encouraged by this revelation, without checking the next door plate he entered, the world of fear. He felt so scared that his hair was sticking up like bristles on a broom. Creeps froze the blood in his veins. The chill rose up his spine and his heart was throbbing hard like a drum as he stood surrounded by people with pale faces deformed by fear, eyes wide open in terror, with their hands trembling and teeth chattering from fear. Hastily he walked out and looked around the plates on the nearby doors. "I want some better world," he yelled, and spotted a plate on a door reading, "The World of Love." And inside, inside, faces glowing with love, dreamy looks, soft words, tender hugs, and warmth that only love can bring. Encouraged by love and driven by curiosity, he stepped into the world of fight. There all he could hear was the smack and crack and blows and punches, curses and insults. Not half as scared as he had been in the world of fear, he knew only that he had to go out of there. In front of him there were doors to the world of music. He walked into the harmony of sounds, varying the rhythm and intensity, composing new melodies with his thoughts. What a wonderful world! It stood right beside the world of sorrow, the next world he entered, to find himself in the middle of sobbing, crying, and moaning of despair. He felt his tears roll down his cheeks, but couldn't find the door, and eternity wasn't anywhere near. He was in the pain of sorrow. "I want out! I want out!" He was crying and reaching out his hands. But somebody took hold of his hands and wiped his tears and gently shook him. He heard his mother's voice. "Laren, darling, what is it?" Her words brought him back to the real world. "Did you have a bad dream?" continued his mother softly. "Yes, a long passage with numberless doors to different worlds." "Ah, that," exclaimed the mother, as if it were the most usual thing in the world. "That is the passage of life." "The passage of life, yes, you know about that?" Marveling, he got up and squeezed her hands. "Laren, dear, life is full of different worlds, and sometimes we open the wrong doors. Sometimes we are dragged by curiosity, and on some doors we don't even knock because we are too scared. That is the passage of life, son. Nothing scary." "Nothing scary?" repeated Laren loudly. "Oh no, I don't want to open the doors of the world of fear, of darkness, of violence or sorrow." His mother stood in silence for a brief moment and then said to him, "Sometimes the world of love is more beautiful if we enter it after visiting the world of fear, and the world of music gives more pleasure after having experienced the world of fight. Into some worlds we enter by our own choice, and we are pushed by force into some others. But it is important to know there is always a way out." "And when will those worlds merge into one?" "Never, Laren. We can only live in one of them at a time. That is why eternity never dies. It is there always and forever." She kissed his forehead, left the room, and walked out into the garden, into her world of roses. "My dear little ones, enjoy your many beautiful worlds, and don't be afraid of entering the ugly ones. There is a way out of them, and once you are out, it will all seem as it did to Laren, as if it all happened only in your dreams."